Hey guys, welcome back. So it is March, and March to me means St. Patrick's Day. So I want to give you a couple easy St. Patrick's Day paintings that you can make at home that wouldn't take you very long. I'll show you what they look like now, hopefully in the order that they're posted in. So number 1, number 2, and number 3. So let's get right into it. So number 1, we're going to paint this 4-leaf clover. I've went ahead and drawn on all of these with pencil before I started, just for the ease of the video. And with this guy, and actually all of them to some extent, not so much the last one, I'm going to be a little more exaggerated with my motions and a little more random with my strokes. This is just, I've been really liking the way that the kind of messier style is. Like I did my painting of my cat Rudy the other day. Let me grab it, hang on. So the other day I made this painting here. I really like the kind of messier style, so I'm going to try to replicate that. But you see me coming in with a couple different colors of green. This is a clover, it's going to be green, but something I'm also going to use here is a little bit of purple. It's just to give me some more depth to my color. And green and purple are not exactly opposites. Red is the opposite of green, but the next closest thing to red, if you follow the wheel around, is going to be some kind of orange, some kind of purple. And so I want the purple because it's going to make it seem darker, but it's also going to warm things up a little. And you can kind of see that effect, hopefully sometime around now when I'm talking, that the purple is not doing a ton to kill the green, but it's still going to make it darker, which is what I'm kind of hoping for in this painting. And then once I'm finished with that, I will come through with my pens, go around all the outline, my standard process for the most part, but we're going to go quickly and it's not going to be too difficult, so that you guys, if you wanted to do this at home, you certainly could. If you know me, you know I love my white pens as well, so I'm going to add some white pen strokes in here now, and then we can move right on to the next painting. So for painting number 2, another simple one, I'm going to do a mug of beer. Now, I don't really drink beer. However, St. Patrick's Day, in at least America, I don't think it's actually like this in Ireland, but it's a big alcohol centered holiday. Lots of beer drinking and lots of bar hopping and things like that. And so I figured a fun little painting for somebody might be a mug of beer. And if you don't want to do this for St. Patrick's Day, you could still, it's a good practice. It's good still life painting, working on my liquids, working on my glass. So you can see me putting in some colors here. I went with a nice kind of warm ambery yellowy color for the base, and I'll darken it around the edges where there will be more glass in the way because it's more of an angle, so it's going to kind of darken things up. And that way I can kind of get some convexity to this, make it look round, like the middle is coming a little closer to the sides are. Also going to go ahead in here with my black pen and my white pen and add some outlines and some highlight details. I'm also going to draw in some bubbles as well into not only my foam, but also my beer itself. And you can kind of see me doing that sometime around here, hopefully. And I went ahead, for the sake of it being kind of more St. Patrick's Day-esque, I went with a green background. So that's going to do it for this one. We'll move on to the next painting. For our final painting here, I'm sure you can see it drawn in already, and I bet you saw it in the thumbnail. We are going to go ahead and do a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. Common leprechaun lore. Once again, I don't know how realistic any of this is, like for the actual celebration of St. Patrick's Day, but here in the United States, at least, this is one of the things that we associate a lot with leprechauns and St. Patrick's Day is this pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. So I'm going to go ahead in here and do my rainbow. Nothing crazy here. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. I know technically it's indigo violet, not purple. However, it is what it is. It's a painting. And the fewer colors I put on this, the better for me. And the better for the painting at the end of the day. And so I went ahead and did that with my rainbow. And then for the pot itself, I'm going to go ahead and paint it black. Now, I don't want to just use black. That's boring. That's flat. So I'm going to use a lot of purple, a lot of blue, and then some black. So I can kind of pull it all together to give it some three-dimensionality and some vibrance. Just black would be very dull, would not be very colorful. We want colorful paintings. Colorful paintings are interesting. Interesting paintings are good. And so that's kind of what I went with. And I was kind of feeling a little flat to me, a little too clean. So I go ahead and splatter some paint in here as well. I went in with a few of my colors that were in my rainbow. I think some red, maybe some green, maybe a little bit of purple. I might have even done some yellow. I didn't do every single color, just kind of the main ones that fit along there that are going to stand out a lot as splatters. It's primarily just a kind of texture thing. And so once I do that, I can come through and outline everything with my black pen and my white marker. And I'm also going to put a bit of a blue background. Not really necessary, but I thought it would look interesting because the other two didn't really have any backgrounds. Well, the first one didn't, the second one did, but I thought the background would be a little more interesting. And so I went ahead and did that as well. All right, so that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let's check these paintings out and kind of give you my thoughts on them. So first one, we went with this 4-leaf clover. I love this one. I think Hillary is going to love this one. I really like when the kind of paint goes outside the lines. It gives it a more dynamic feel, not something that I typically do, at least in the past haven't done typically. And I really like this style. I think I'm going to do stuff like this a lot more often. This is very graphic. I think is a good way to describe it. I'm just very happy with it. You could turn this into a greeting card if you wanted to. I just made it a simple painting for today, but you absolutely, this is the perfect size. I could stick this on a card back. I don't remember exactly what the scale is for these, but it's like an awkward size. It's like 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 or something like that. It just fits just inside a standard card that you would ship to somebody when you make them. I got a ton of these little pre-cut ones. Thank you, Hillary. And it's a lot of fun to use them. So that's what a lot of my pre-cut pieces of paper are. So for our second one, we have our mug of beer. Once again, not a beer guy. I wouldn't be able to tell you what this mug of beer is full of. However, I guess technically Irish beer would be like Guinness. This does not look like Guinness, I can tell you that much. Guinness is much darker. However, I think this would provided a little bit more of an interesting painting for me to get this orangey amber color as opposed to a really dark brown. It just kind of provides for some more interest. Once again, I really like this one. This is a fun style. I think this is cool, also graphic like the other one, and I'm really happy with the texture that I provided for the background. Since the painting itself is not very heavily textured, the background being some texture kind of helps to contrast off of it a little bit. And I think this one looks really cool. The bubbles on the inside look really neat. I'm very happy with this result. 10 out of 10, just like the other one. Maybe I'll have Hillary vote on these and see what she thinks as well, but I'm very happy with both of these so far. And for our final one, we'll bring out our pot of gold with the rainbow. I'm also happy with this one. Maybe not quite as much as the other two. I think this could have been a little bit better. However, I think it still looks good. I think if I were to do it again, I would leave some room for some like little beams of light coming off of the coins to make them shiny. Maybe would have done a slightly different angle on the pot so that you can see more gold pieces. I did it like this because it kind of, I didn't want to draw all the gold pieces, but I probably should have. Let me see I'm going to grab my white paint marker and see if I can add some shininess to this and see if it'll make a difference for me. Hang on. Okay, so I grabbed this white marker here. Let me see. I'm going to put this down and I'm going to draw some little lines on here for you in front of you, and we'll see if this makes a difference. Yeah, actually, I kind of like that. The little shininess kind of is cool to me. So that's a little better. I would probably say this is like a 7.5 though, overall, out of 10, whereas the other two I'm really quite happy with. So I would still say this is a successful painting. I think it was pretty simple. It wouldn't be too difficult for you to do at home, which is the most important part of this video. So I'll pull these 3 up here again so we can see them all. I won't be able to talk because I gotta hold the mic and talk at the same time. I'll pull these 3 up so you can see them all one more time, and then we'll get out of here. Hang on one sec. Cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment, share with your friends, all the standard YouTube things. It really makes a difference for the channel. It really helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it. You guys are wonderful. Love you all. You're so great. Other than that, I think that's going to do it for today. This video is coming out on a Tuesday. Just a reminder, I did change my upload schedule a little bit. So you're probably used to, if you watch my channel regularly, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I'm switching now to Tuesday and Friday, just 2 days a week. I have a lot of videos out already. So if you're new to my channel, go check out some of my other stuff. However, feels better this way. So I might mention that for a couple more until people are kind of used to it. All 4 of you who watch my videos all the time. So I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. However, I do want to mention it just so that we're all on the same page if you are watching this far in the video. And if you are, you're awesome. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next one.